Off the rails we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cubist. My name is Bill Corey. I am the Cubist, and it is episode 50.
50.
Episode 50. We made it. We hit a milestone, as it were. No, but first off,
did you wash your hands, Eric?
Yeah, Eric, did you wash your hands?
No, good for you.
All right. So as you may or may not have noticed, we have a ton of people in the episode today. For those of you watching live, of course, audio folks will go through our usual. First off, let's start with our regular co-host, Miss Kimberly Revia. Hello, Kimberly.
Heyo, how are you?
I'm well. We also have Brandon Kempis here. Hello, Brandon.
Hello. How is everybody? How
Excellent.
is everybody? Holy crap.
Every
good English.
Mr. Patrick Hillier is here. Hello, Patrick, with your clothes on. How's it going?
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Thank you. Mr. Eric Buscemi is here.
Hello.
Oh, sounding like a robot. Hello, Eric. Hopefully Eric washed his hands. And we have Adrienne Nizell here. Hello, Adrienne.
Hello.
All right. So we have tons and tons of folks, which is going to be awesome. Kimberly Clearwater Revival. That's your name for the week. That's good.
Name for this episode.
I like this. We can screw up your name as many different ways as humanly possible. This will be wonderful.
Ben is on it.
Ben's on point today. This is good.
Oh, I like that.
All right. So ladies and
Travis
And we
Hill.
have a Travis.
Oh,
Nice
we have
to
a
meet you from
Travis
us.
too. Hi, Travis.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hello.
See, if I could just like get an MP3 of that so I can turn that into a ringtone, like just Travis calmly saying "Hello, friends" every time my phone would ring. That would make me the happiest guy
You're
ever.
silly.
I am. I'm also adorable though, so I get away with it. Anyway.
Yes.
He's getting too cocky. I regret the love spreading.
Yes.
Look, one of the earliest episodes of the Cubist being a YouTube show, we tried to do something similar to this, where we had like 9 people on the show. And that was the week that my internet died, and Tiffany Kairos ended up basically running the show, if I recall correctly.
I remember that, yeah.
Yes. Tiffany and I wore furry things. It was my first episode.
Yes, it was ridiculous. So hopefully we'll see if the squirrels can keep running long enough. We're also supposed to have Matt Roy here, but Matt has that whole big city internet that doesn't
Matt in
work.
the chat. Matt is right. Shouldn't there be 50? There should be 50 of us, baby. So try to get back
well,
on.
you screwed it up, Matt. You were supposed to be here, and you froze like 9 times. So there you go.
So pretty, though.
He is reasonably pretty, I suppose. Anyway, it's episode 50. This show is going to be all about milestones. So we're going to, in our main segment, talk about like the milestones of this show and fun stuff that's happened, and also milestones in our personal gaming careers, because I think that's kind of a cool thing that we all have them, and then you don't think about them. Like everybody's got the things where they were like, this is the moment when this, when something happened that is a turning point. So to me, that's sort of the same thing. So we'll talk about that later. But first, contrary to popular opinion, apparently in the Slack that I didn't look at enough all day, we are going to talk about games we've played recently. Damn it. Don't make faces. See, you audio people, just so we're clear, audio listeners, we love you. Thank you so much for listening. But you miss out on so much stuff and just by all the ridiculousness. If you can never make a Monday night happen, I highly recommend it. For no other reason than Kimberly making random faces when she forgets that the camera is on.
I knew the camera was on.
This time you did. I know.
At that time.
All right. We failed a little bit in our pre-show prep like we normally do, where we talk about who's going to go first. So I'm going to go first this time.
Get it, girl.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space. I received a review copy after a short 3 to 4 months of asking for one from one of my dear friends who shall remain nameless, Brandon Kemp. So this is the originally for 2010 published by Osprey Games. This is a hidden movement game where everyone is moving using hidden movement, a la like Scotland Yard or Letters from Whitechapel and all that stuff, but all players are doing it simultaneously. And the idea is that half the players are humans trying to escape and get to the exit spaces, and half the players are aliens trying to hunt down those humans and murder their faces. It is mechanically very light, but what I discovered after, and for the record, this is a first impression, not a full-on review. I've only played it once, so just full disclosure. We played this, and it's really easy to screw up if people aren't paying attention to the rules. is what we learned. It's real easy if people aren't really focused on what the rules are for people to say the wrong thing, because the idea is that you enter, most of the hexes on the board are dangerous. You have to flip a card, or you have to draw a card. That card says whether you have to announce whether you are allowed to tell the truth or allowed to lie about where you are. So you might have made noise is what it is. And if people aren't paying attention to how those mechanics work, it can get ugly real fast. And that's the thing that we learned. We had a lot of fun once everybody got up to speed, but it took about half of the game for people to be like, well, wait, what does this red card mean? Stop and reset and, whatever. Once we got past that, it was pretty good, though. The production of this new printing that came out last year is really good, except the dry erase markers, which it feels like in every game that tries to include dry erase markers, these suck real bad. So you're going to want just your own set, because these are real terrible.
Ones are really good.
So which ones?
The Ex Libris one.
Yeah, those are decent.
I use it on my fridge one.
Nice. The ones that came in Wits and Wagers, the new Vegas one, or Wits and Wagers Party, I guess technically is where the markers are pretty good as well. So the only weak spot in this Osprey publication, it could just be because the dry erase markers sat for months on a shelf. I mean, that's possible.
Hey, it was still in the shrink. I'll have you know. Wait, it wasn't me. Sorry, that's not who we were talking about.
Nice. So, this is a first impression. This is not a full review because I've only played it the one time. I played it at 4 players. I need to play it again at lower and higher player counts. It plays 2 to 8, and I think it's going to play different at all of those different counts. But as a first impression, I thought it was solid. I think it's one that you should definitely at least try. So I'm not willing to give it a full-on rating with only a first impression, because it being, I suspect it is going to be group dependent, though, so to kind of keep that in the back of your head, who you're going to have playing.
I've played it at 8. It was hella fun at 8.
Yeah. Okay. Did you feel like there was, because it is a turn-by-turn game, right? Like everybody takes their turn around the table. So did you ever feel like there was sort of any downtime?
No, I feel like we played it simultaneously.
Oh, it's definitely supposed to be turn-by-turn. For sure. Okay. Unless we're thinking about a different game. I confirmed that one because I thought the same thing as you when I first got the game and I popped it open and then I read it and I'm like, no, you definitely go around. But whatever. We'll see. Anyway, it's good. Try it. I definitely recommend at least giving it a shot. Like I said, I need to play it more. But it sounds like the bigger the group, the more fun it would be because the more chaotic it would be. It's probably too close to social deduction for a certain Patrick Hillier, though. He'd probably hate it. Patrick?
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I got it. I guess I'll have to try it and see if I hate it or not.
Patrick's about to hurt my feelings because he's got our next one.
All right. So we had fancy dress up Friday, and how many of us were there at fancy dress up Friday? Adrian and Kimberly and Bill,
Matt in the chat,
We're all dressed Molly. Up in our fine. Well, I meant who's here in the thing.
Oh, yes. Gotcha. Okay.
Chad says I don't play games made after 1983. That's pretty reasonable. And you know what? Chad does not sound at all Southern in the chat room. I noticed when I met him in BGG. Nice to meet you, Chad. Anyway, so being part of the larger group and wanting to play along, I sat down to Werewords, which Brandon has spoke so highly of, and Everyone,
close your eyes.
Sorry.
Thank you. I have played many of the Wereword type words before, knowing that I would hate them because I don't like games where I have to get into someone's head. I don't know what you want to call them. Deduction, social deduction, whatever you want to call them. I don't like games where I have to figure out what somebody is. I don't like games where I have to lie. I don't have a poker face. I usually giggle and smile when I have to lie.
You did both of those things.
Yes. So I basically suck at these games. And so we played 2 or 3 rounds, and like whenever I was the werewolf, it was obvious. And whenever somebody else was the werewolf, I had no clue what was going on. And I didn't enjoy myself. So, for me, on the Cubist scale, this is my very first burn it.
Ooh.
Woo!
Yes.
I'm not
Burn
gonna
it
talk
down.
It's fine. I think this is just. I don't think of this as a social deduction game, but I understand why you do.
Yeah.
I can't
don't-
imagine anyway. It's not.
It's,
I don't know. Pat, see, Brandon, you're on Team Me on this one, right?
I am, but I'm keeping my team me mouth shut.
Oh,
Useless. All right,
Didn't like what you
fine.
like.
No,
So-
yeah, it's just a deduction game. It's not really. There's not much that lying in where words. There's not that. You're just trying to figure out the word and figure out who knows the word and why they know the word,
Sure.
right? And I could see how people get irritated with that. And I hate social deduction games, like true social deduction games. The Chameleon was probably like stabbing me in the eye 13 times when I played it. But I love Werewords for some silly reason.
Gotcha.
It just feels different to me.
Well, here's the deal. I never want to hate on somebody for hating a game because
Exactly.
I think negative reviews are an important part of this. And so if it's not a game for you, that makes perfect sense, right?
Yep.
So good for you for standing up to bullies like me. I appreciate it.
But I'm also not knocking it. I'm just kind of being silly here as a game that I truly understand why people enjoy it.
Right.
I'm just knocking it as a game that it's
Sure.
just not a game for me.
Perfect.
I saw it, I knew what it was, and said this is something I'm not going to enjoy, and I
You played it anyway.
played it.
but
I
he
played
did
it anyway.
anyhow because he loved the
And
people.
then Bill very quietly put it away. We played like 3 games of it, and then Bill's like, "Okay, well, we're good." And I packed it up and we played it.
And that's a good sign for somebody to recognize that too.
Gotcha. Werewords fixes some issues with
That's
werewords.
what I was just laughing.
That's good. And Trevin,
My sweet
Trevin-
Matt is always right.
Trevin in the chat, thank you very much. He said that he watched the Extra Life Marathon, which, by the way, if you want to watch us be idiots at my house from a month ago, the marathon is up on the YouTube channel as well. Trevin said he watched it during the marathon, and then he ended up buying it in time for Thanksgiving, and they had a good time with it. So I think that it is going to be a group-dependent game. I get that. So I'm sorry, Patrick, that I subjected you to a game you knew you weren't going to like.
No, I don't mind doing that every once in a while.
I will say that watching you grin and be like giggly because you knew that you were about to get busted was one of the cutest things I've seen in a game in a while.
Aw.
That was pretty rad. All right. Eric.
Eric wanted to burn something down.
Eric
No, I'm not gonna burn it.
Eric!
I didn't like it. But I don't believe in burning games.
All right. What do you got?
Card
City
City XL by Alban Viard.
Okay. I heard a lot of good buzz about this one.
Well, good. Maybe it'll make it easier to trade. I had got this from Kickstarter a few weeks ago, and I tried to read the rules like 3 or 4 separate times. There are math equations in the rules. If n equals this, n plus 1 that. Adjacency for C and R, but L and C.
We're having a.
And then I couldn't get through the rules, but I wound up throwing it in my bag when I went to PAX Unplugged, and I played it with 2 other gamer friends of mine, and we sat down, we played it. Nothing worked right. We realized we played everything wrong. And to their credit, they said, let's just restart now that we know all the rules from having played wrong for half an hour. Now we understand why everything was all wrong. Then we played down and then we played it correct. And I've confirmed the second time we played it correct. And it was okay. It has an interesting I split you choose mechanism in it. And it was just so tight and just it wasn't fun. It was like I always felt like I was picking the least bad option, or because of the I split you choose, I was just never given an ideal option. I could never make a great move or do a great combo. It was just a series of just not as good as I wanted it to be. And I basically think I kickstarted it because I was hoping it'd be like, it'd be like a Sim City card game, and it wasn't.
Okay.
So hard pass from me.
Hard pass. So
Don't set your games off.
would that make it not a I'm sorry, I missed that, Eric.
Don't set your games on fire.
Don't set your games on fire. So burn it is always a bad option, but it's a forget it for you.
Yeah, I would forget about it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not for me.
Gotcha.
I still haven't tried it. I wonder almost if I don't know. It almost seems like it'd be a really good solo game if you like solo games, more so than it is a game with other
Who
people.
likes solo games?
I know. See,
Have you
that's
played
the
it,
weird
Travis?
thing. I have.
Travis, have you played this?
But
I
that's
have,
what
yeah.
You probably wrote the rule book.
That's what I was wondering. I was going to check my copy.
No. First of all, Alvin VR. Well, he has
Bless
the
his
worst.
heart.
He is the worst rule books. He really
He does.
He's the worst
Tramways
rule
is-
books. I have reached out to him a number of times, or at least twice, just to see, and he always responds like, "Yeah, that's a great idea," and then he just like forgets. So
Hey, did you guys know that Travis writes rule books? I actually saw him sign one at BGG.
ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
I didn't even get Travis's autograph. Damn it.
Some very nice people wanted me to sign a stupid rule book. So, oh,
Which
well.
rule book was that, Pat? Travis.
Okay.
What I'm sorry?
Which rule book was it?
It was Favelas
That's what I thought,
by
yeah.
Chris Bryan and WizKids.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
but back to Card City. I have played it. I played it a number of times, and I've only played it solo. And that's still, I don't think I want to play it multiplayer now that I figured out how to play it. And the reason why is because there are so many win conditions in the game. Like you just choose what win condition you want. And I just don't care. Like that's too much for me. Like I want them to. I just want to play like against pollution or against happiness points or whatever. I don't want the 15 different things to choose from.
Yeah.
Just give me one end game victory condition and let me do it.
Do you know what I thought when I sat there and I read the rule book, Travis? Is I thought that this was a solo game where they tacked on multiplayer options rather than the opposite, like they normally, most game companies normally do.
It could be possible. Who knows?
But
Well, now
I got to try it.
Now I really want to play it. Like I realize that maybe this is just me being a freak, but like when you started talking about equations, I'm like, I am in. Like, no, seriously. When we talked in the chat,
I don't mean to say that it was super complicated. It's just it was phrased in like such an less
That's
than
it.
ideal way.
That's it. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, as somebody that has tried for most of 2017 to be the champion for High Frontier 3rd Edition, I am up close and personal with crap rule books as of late, and so you know what I mean. Like now, I kind of want it. Now I want to give it a shot even more. So if you need somebody to trade it to, Eric, I'm your Huckleberry. All right.
Noted.
There you go. So Card City is a forget it from you, huh? All right. Well, let's end on a positive note, which is going to be weird. Me talking about for the game This War of Mine, because this is about the least positive game in the world.
Wasn't
What?
Adrian was going to talk about
I
something?
think
Adrian, do you have a game? Did I miss you? I'm sorry, I'm a jerk. What do you want to talk
I
about?
was
You
gonna
go.
talk about the game too. Gee.
So, in honor of episode 50, I will do 50-50. Sounds good.
Do what?
Yeah, baby.
Am I on? So, I asked in the chat if people wanted to hear more about Spirit Island or Raiders of the North Sea, because I love both.
Mm-hmm.
So I will do short on both. How about that?
Perfect.
All right. So I own both of these. I picked up Spirit Island at Gen Con. I got the expansion, but not the 5th player expansion. So this one is really good with 4. It builds with your player base. This is area control-ish. Reverse area control. I don't know. So you have to ask yourself: Do you like? I'm trying
Games?
to get
Yes.
delicately.
You do enjoy
Yes.
games.
Games are fantastic. But have you ever wanted to? I don't know. Strike back against colonization. Let's say.
Mhm.
So Spirit Island is about clearing all of the white plastic off of the island. And you are a spirit, and they're natives, and you have special powers. So think kind of like not Atlantean. Wow. Mount Olympus with the wrong location.
That's right.
Kind of powers for people, and then some more fantastical fantasy, even more so than the Greek gods would be. Abilities that you can do, like burning things down or having the ocean come and swallow up all of the lovely conquistador-like explorers. So yeah, the object to win, or the object of the game, is to get rid of all of the foreign invaders, and I absolutely love it. The theme grabbed me, and then the game has its own AI engine, and you're breaking that instead of building your own engine, which is nice. It's a good flip. So that is definitely a buy it. It is now back in stock. The second print run is actually sold out as well. So if you see it at your FLGS, get it.
I played this. You and your husband taught Molly and I this at BGG.
At too early in the morning.
Yeah,
yes.
way early. Yeah.
It was much later than we probably should have, because Spirit Island, although it looks very accessible and pretty and simplistic, and it is most def not. Like it is.
It is.
It is not. It's a thinky game. It's a very thinky game, even for it being that. Like, I mean, it's on the BGG scale, which granted is not the end all be all. It's almost a 4 on their weight scale. It is a very heavy game. Like they're not wrong. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of different factors that you have to think about, and a lot of planning that has to go into each turn. But it was a lot of fun. I absolutely agree.
And I will say it is 100% co-op, and it is it's not turn-based, it's phase-based. So you can all do things at one time, you coordinate, and well, if you can push this guy over here, I can burn him or drown him or whatever it is, have my animals eat him, whatever it is I can do to him. So it's really nice that it has that Pandemic feel, but with more game than Pandemic.
I agree with that.
Because I love Pandemic, but I can beat it now. I've cracked it. So the other game, Raiders of the North Sea, is another worker placement, not really area control, but it's worker placement with one worker, and that's actually you're building an engine, you're building a tableau of Vikings, because obviously Raiders of the North Sea, that help you raid locations. So when you go to that location, you pick up the resources off of it, which helps you raid more locations. You get VP for various things, one of which is killing off your crewmates, because you get little Valkyrie skulls and then you send them to Valhalla, and that's one of the victory point tracks, which is pretty great. To the Jarl. So it's Euro light. Like, I think this is my new introductory worker placement game, taking the place of Lords of Waterdeep.
Gotcha. Very cool. I have not played Raiders at all.
It's so pretty.
It is very pretty. I agree with that wholeheartedly. It feels like it's going to be a little bit too light to keep my attention personally in my collection. And I might be way wrong on that. That's just the vibe that I get off it. But again, haven't played, so I guess I don't really know. But that sounds like a ringing endorsement. So that's awesome. I need to try it. Let's go back. A Spirit Island on the Cubist scale. Buy it, play it, forget it, or burn it.
Buy it.
Buy it. I'll buy it.
You'll buy it?
I'll buy it.
Travis will buy it for us, apparently.
Sorry.
Thank you, Travis. That's awesome. That's very generous.
You know it.
Yay. All right. And Raiders of the North Sea?
Play it.
Play it. Okay.
I mean, I would buy it because pretty much anything Renegade touches right now is just amazing, and they're the distributor for this one.
Not everything.
What?
Oh, now the caveat. Now I have to think.
Look at you throwing shade all
got
day over there. What is that?
Oh, I haven't.
I guess I'll just sign off.
Yeah.
Why? There's too many curmudgeons here. They
Patrick,
Yeah, we don't need to be a curmudgeon.
Okay. All right. Well, I will say the stuff that they sign up that's already been published that they then sign on to be the distributor for, they've had pretty good. Like Honshu is pretty great. I'm just saying.
It
Like,
is.
Yeah.
if you want SimCity the card game, get Honshu, and you can play it in 10 minutes and teach people and just do all the things.
All the things.
All the things.
All.
Without those pesky people to worry about.
That's true. I
But no,
don't
so-
like people.
So for me, the Raiders would definitely be a buy it, but because of the more simple nature, I guess, I would say play it for listeners and watchers.
Got it. I'm just actually trying to pay attention to the chat room for
You'll
basic.
die? Oh, okay.
What? I'm unmute. Why am I?
Bill. Oh.
Am I? Can you hear me?
Who are
Yes.
you?
All right, there we go. No, for some reason it came
so
up.
funny. We all just pretended we couldn't hear Bill.
No. For half a second, it said your microphone is muted, and I'm like, why does it say that? I did not mute anything. But whatever. Boy. So I'm stirring it up in the chat room. Sorry. There we go. No, I didn't love Honshu. It's fine. But there. All right. So
I'm pretty sure you taught me Honshu last year, BGG.
Doesn't mean he liked it.
That wouldn't surprise me. Everybody wanted to learn Honshu last year. Honshu was the hit game of BGG last year. And I played it, I want to say 2 or 3 times. And by the 3rd time, I was like, and I never need to play that again. And that's completely okay. And it's a fine game that is not for me. That's what it comes down to.
That's okay, curmudgeon.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Can we talk about this really fast? Look, here's
Love spreading curmudgeon. You can do both.
Yeah. All right. Slight stupid amount of self-promotion because I can. If you look in the description for this YouTube video, there's a link to the BGG thread where Kimberly threw me under the bus and made me the love spreader of the week on BGG, the website that I am notorious for not particularly enjoying interacting with people on. And now I have to talk to people for a week, and I have to be pleasant and stuff. And she even called me a curmudgeon in the post.
Yes, she did.
Hurt my feelings. Not really.
I said a bunch of nice things.
You did say a bunch of nice things. I have an iconic voice. Did you guys know that? That's fun.
See how nice.
Woohoo! Good.
Woo.
Go me.
Remember
anyway,
that boy that we adopted at B. Recognize your voice.
Jack? Wasn't his name
That's
Jack?
On
Tuesday night. This is, by the way, one of the funniest.
Names.
One of the funnest parts of BGG for me was night 0. Like 12 of us were sitting in one of the side rooms, and we were all either or publishers or designers or whatever. And this one kid named Jack, who was just at some point we realized we had started talking shop, like sort of industry speak, and this kid was just kind of sitting there wide-eyed looking around going, what the hell am I sitting in on? This is great.
I'm gonna take off my headphones for 4 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay. And after about 30 seconds I looked around and I'm like, hi Jack, welcome to the weirdness that is the night before. And he's like, cool. And I just kind of got really quiet. It was awesome. So Jack, if you're listening, hi, you were awesome. So all right, let's get I did talk a lot of crap, Matt. You're not wrong. So, all right, let's get into this. Let's get into the milestone.
Travis, want to talk about a game?
Travis, do you want to talk about a game?
Sure.
I
guess.
Your enthusiasm is overwhelming, sir.
I know. All right, so I played. So I got a copy of Fast Forward Flee. Right?
Ooh.
That it? Yeah, Flee from the Fast Forward series from Strongholds. Yeah, I got that. I think because it's a 1 to 4 player co-op game, and I'm interested in the idea that there's no rule book, that stuff evolves over time, and I was excited about this one. I remember watching the Essenspiel shtick by Friedman, who said that this was the thinkiest of the games. So obviously I'm on board for this one. So I'm like, okay, good. It's a big thinky game, co-op, sure, whatever. And he was like, to go through the whole thing, it's going to be 4 or 5 hours. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's kind of fun. It's kind of the same thing over and 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 over again.
Okay.
There are minimal moments of evolution as the game goes on, to where it's like incremental. Oh, here's a new rule that kind of throws a little bit of a wrinkle, but it's also just who cares? And then there's another card that does this and that. Oh, okay, that's fine. And you're literally just shuffling things around in a circle, clockwise or counterclockwise, and that's all you're doing for the entirety of the game. And so my wife and I played. I think we played 3 sessions of it, and we got to the point that we failed. And when you fail, you have to put the discard pile back on top of the deck and go through the whole thing again. And we just kind of went, no, we don't want to do that.
Thing we're gonna do.
We've already done this, so no. How about we don't? So I would say play it on the scale. I would say play it and then sell it.
Okay,
because that's what I'm going to do.
That should go on the 50th anniversary T-shirt.
It's
Bling it, play it, then sell it.
It just wasn't exciting. Like at first it was like, oh, this is kind of a cool thing. Oh yeah, and then after 2 hours of doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're really just managing a minor crisis that's you're not even a crisis, you're managing an annoyance that is just floating around, and you're just it just wasn't, it's just not worth it. It's not worth
yours.
it.
Gotcha. So play it, flip it.
Flip it.
This is a flip it.
Flip it.
All right, there we go.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
okay.
That's good for the unlocks too. Flip
So
them.
this is that's the unlock series as well.
Yeah.
Wait, the unlocks are the true one shots, or the exits are?
The exits are the ones you
Exits are one shot. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, got it. All right, so this is actually a good segue. We're going to do some giveaways during this show. And so I want to do something where we give the audio people a chance to, but live viewers, I want y'all involved in this as well. We are going to be doing some new merch for the new year. And the idea that I want to go with is the back of the existing shirt has our buy it, play it, forget it, or burn it rating scale on it, okay? But guests love to add more categories to this thing and give like tweaks of this. So what I want from you is I want new ratings that belong in this scale somewhere. So you can't use Bling It, because that is one that is too clearly established, okay? And you can't use Rent It, because I feel like that's cheating. But anything else, if you can come up with anything else that you feel like belongs somewhere on the scale, you have to tell me what the rating is and where it is on the scale between the existent stuff. If you do those, come up with that
What's
rating.
a hashtag?
Well, it's not just going to be Twitter. This is going to be, you have to actually use email. I'm gonna collect all these via email.
What's
email? You have to email. I know email. I'm going to go old school.
Oh
Can't
wait,
believe I'm
have you
calling
seen
email old school.
the latest low player count contest? This is nothing. Don't even.
know.
What's the latest low player count contest?
Oh my god!
I haven't
You
seen
gotta like
that.
fill out a 10-page essay.
I haven't listened to that episode yet. I haven't listened to the newest one, but let's
It's just 10
Travis
photos.
is fist pumping.
Let Bill finish his thing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thank you.
Sorry.
Damn
Come
it.
on, Phil.
Bunch of jerks. Yeah, Phil, quiet down over there. No, so email, you have to email what the new rating is and where it belongs on the scale. And I don't care, you can play this for laughs, you can play this for serious, whatever. And you have to email the Cubist podcast at gmail.com. All right, so send your entries there. The contest will be open until next Monday, which is December 3rd.
4th.
What are we? I'm sorry, I was giggling.
No, it's the 1st, December 1st.
What's the first?
No.
Saturday?
Friday.
Friday.
Friday's the 1st. Yeah. So the 4th. It'll be open until Monday.
Yes.
God, I don't know. Shut up. It's been a
It's a long day.
It's been a long weekend. I haven't had. Anyway, you have until December 4th, next Monday, a week from today, as of the time of recording, to get those sent in. One entry per email, please. So if you have a bunch of ideas, just spam the hell out of me, and I will draw a random email. Put in the subject "new rating," if you don't mind. Even if you don't, that'll be fine. I'll be able to figure it out. But if you could, that would help me out a little bit. And we will draw some random winners, and we'll give away some swag in celebration of episode 50. Specifically, Matt in the chat. I like that.
Matt in the chat.
Matt in the chat. We're just going to roll with this. Is very graciously donating a copy of 51st State for us to give away, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And we are going to announce on Twitter the different prizes that we have, because we've got a couple of things. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to give away yet, but I've got a couple prizes I'm going to donate, and we're going to see if we can get a little bit more swag to give out. So we'll be giving out multiple prizes for this contest. So again, send your ratings that you want to see on the back of the next t-shirt and where they belong in the scale, and send those to the Cubist podcast at gmail.com and win some free stuff. It'll be awesome. And don't put them in the chat room, you guys. The chat room is going nuts rating stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
That doesn't, I'm not going to, those don't count. You actually have to do the email, damn it. So, all right. Episode 50.
Woo!
Episode 50, guys. I know, right? So it took us more than 50 weeks to get here, which is sad.
No, that's
There you go. Thank you, Daniel.
Humans.
Yes, it took us more than 50 weeks to get here because for a while there, our production schedule got a little bit off kilter. And mostly that was my fault. But I'm glad we finally made it. And this has been, I got to say, the show has evolved a lot from episode 1, right? So episode 1, Brandon, you were there, right? Because I was like, hey, sit here with me, if I recall correctly. I think so. You were there in episode 1. I think you were. I think, yeah, because we were trying to figure out how to get the Google Hangout thing to work. And we were both bashing our brains against the wall trying to figure it out. And I'm like, look, just sit here. This is making me neurotic. So first off, Brandon, thank you for being around for basically the entire thing. Very cool. And the rest of y'all, thank you so much for being a part of this. This has been fun. The only reason that this is still, not the only reason, the biggest reason that this is still so awesome for me to do is because I have a lot of really rad people that want to be along for the ride. So I just want to start by saying that I love you guys. Thank you very much for being here. And even like Travis and Adrian, who are quote unquote guests that seem to be here over and over and over again. Like I can't tell. No, but I'm saying
even them,
you know, even our part timers or whatever. You know what I mean, though? Like it's quiet. You know what?
That's it's true. Part timer is appropriate.
Yeah, thank you. See, that's better. See,
we should also add in a Mr. Daniel Newman as the producer.
Yes,
as a
podcast producer Daniel Newman, who is currently sitting in the chat.
Yes, and a Matt in the chat.
And Matt in the chat and people like Paul, who spends a lot of time in the chat, and Trevin and Chad and Ben. Ben, sponsor of the show, Ben Bedloff. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
And netters. We have lots of regular people.
We have a ton of regulars that watch and people like Jake and Danielle who watch every week on their Apple TV but can't actually partake in the chat room because of the way that works. And by the way, we're kind enough to include the Cubist in their awesome fantasy board game league that we totally sucked at after about the first 4 weeks.
Congratulations to Brandon.
Yes, Brandon, good job on your second place there, buddy. Right?
You're number 2. You're number 2.
Brandon is not.
I feel like at this point you're just rubbing it in, so I don't want to. I'm not going to acknowledge it.
I mean, yes, we actually are. Good job almost being awesome, Brandon.
You know,
you're almost the best.
If just logged more plays of Majesty after BGG Con, I would have won.
Hey. I
fault,
begged the low player count people to log all their Onirim plays, and I got nothing.
Yeah, you asked me to as well.
I tried to represent for you, Travis.
Dude, yeah, that whatever that game is, Through the Ages, that thing, that app.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, the app.
I'll happily take the points for it, but I never played that thing.
That was my fault. I should have. That was. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
My stupidity helped you get to second place.
Someone picked the old edition.
Yes, I and whatever. It's fine. All right. So I got to ask you, okay, so I've been on 49 of the 50 episodes, right? I have.
Yeah.
There's the episode that shall not be named, which I still have not watched to this day.
Does it bother you that you weren't on the best episode?
It was the best episode.
It does bother me that I wasn't on
it
the
was
most
just
watched
Naked
episode.
Patrick, and it was amazing, and I'm so sorry I didn't realize it was only Naked Patrick.
I refuse to do anything with it.
It was such a good episode, though.
Right. Well, it was our most viewed episode on YouTube. I know that. It has the most views of all of them. I'm not sure if that's because the quality of discourse was so top notch, or because people like, what the hell? Why is there a middle-aged man wearing a Pikachu
Wow,
hat
Patrick
and nothing else?
Growing
a Pikachu hat. It was the best because, I mean, it was really, I think we tried to show my kids a clip of it like days later, Matt and I, and then we realized, oh my God, I only had it set to Patrick. So we're just cry laughing when we tried skipping like 30 minutes in. Naked Patrick. More Naked Patrick.
You know, every week I have to go into the creator studio on YouTube and do all of the future stuff. And every week that episode looks at me from the bottom of the screen, and I go, well, I could go in and put a thumbnail like I should for every other episode, but I won't. No, it's okay. And then I think, nah, it's fine. That can just exist as it is. So it does hurt my feelings that the best episode is the one I was not. Yes. Thank you for rubbing. See, you're not the only one. Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Don't worry. Next time you're out of town, nobody's wearing clothes, only hats.
And I'll show up this time.
Cool.
Matt would have been in just a bow tie tonight, but the internet didn't cooperate.
I don't know if there's a way for me to like prepare for a community guideline strike on YouTube. Like, is there a way that I can like do something to head it up? Like, look, I'm aware that in 3 weeks my channel is about to do something stupid. I'm really sorry. Please don't crush me. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, please. Yeah.
There's all sorts of naked shows on YouTube.
There are not naked shows on YouTube.
There are.
I don't feel like that.
That covers far more than some things.
What's Her Face has one where they just sit and talk and they're naked. I've forgotten the name of that show, and it's actually really good. But anyway, go on.
I am suspicious of all parts of
way off topic. Isn't this a board game podcast?
I'm YouTubing this stuff.
Here's all I'm going to say. When I wanted to talk about board games, everybody in the pre-show was like, "What? We're going to talk about games this week?" That's dumb.
Bill, I actually chose a game and then I didn't talk about it.
Well, good. Save it for next week. We're done with that part.
Oh my god, I have so many games now. I'm not going to remember next week.
Well,
Matt
that's
in the
your
chat,
own damn
remember.
fault. Matt in the chat, remember. There you go. There are all sorts.
So Trisha Hirschberger has the show. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's fine. So here's okay. So I specifically want to talk to those of you that are not on every week. Like, I mean, Brandon and Kimberly have been on most weeks for at least the last close to a year at this point. Eric, you've co-hosted maybe, I don't know, this is like 7th or 8th show you've been on, I'm going to guess.
Sure.
I don't really keep score, but not a lot. But Travis and Adrian, you've each been on, I think, 3 times. Maybe Travis has been on 4.
So.
Sure.
Something like that. Patrick, you're sort of in the middle of all that. You've been on quite a bit recently.
63.2%.
63.2% you've been on?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
That seems reasonable.
You can't do math. We covered that earlier on. Math is not your strong suit. So here's my question. What is this that like, does anybody have a favorite moment? Screw it. We're just going to go full self-promotion here. Does anybody, and chat room, I want to hear from you too, and try to avoid Naked Patrick on this one if you can.
No, if Naked Patrick is your favorite, you freaking say that. I almost said a bad word.
It wouldn't be a show without you cursing for no reason. Travis, is all this energy weird, super weird? Like, it's even weirder tonight.
This is weird.
It's super weird.
I just don't know.
I don't know either. My favorite, I'll just start. I think my favorite moment is Kimberly swearing, because no, it really is, because I don't think no moment in the show has thoroughly derailed the show faster than really dropping an F-bomb, and then us having to have a 10-minute conversation after the show is over about how we're going to deal with this, because we've tried so hard to have a clean rating on iTunes.
I don't even know what happened. I don't remember what we were discussing. It just popped out.
Yes.
I don't remember what it was either. And what's funny is that Brandon, who just walked away, is usually the one that swears on the show.
It's a really good screen cap that Jason Dinger got for me, though.
Yes, that was the best part of it.
Yes. That reminds me, Jason, you're awesome too. I know
Jason is often, and Andrew Smith too. See? Hi, Andrew.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're just
name dropping.
I honestly, that was maybe my favorite part, like my favorite moment on the show so far, in this iteration anyway. In the audio days, before the YouTube days, the Milton Bradley debacle from the very first episode was wonderful. And that episode sadly is lost to the ether because of the way that Libsyn, because of the way that the hosting packages work. I don't have a way to recover that file, which is sad. But we had Suzanne Sheldon and Chaz Marler were the guests in the very first episode of the Cubist when I was audio. And we did the rapid fire segment, and Suzanne couldn't think of her favorite game designer. And after like a minute of full-on freezing. She just put it up Milton Bradley.
Mhm.
And thus the Twitter at Mr. Milton Bradley was born, managed by one Patrick Hillier, who then trolled her nonstop for months. And she got a custom pair of shoes out of the deal. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I don't know if she even listens to this show. So, hi, Suzanne, if you listen.
Talked about getting her on to talk about Kalis.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We need to get back. We're going to be doing probably a deep dive next week. So we'll see if we can get, if it ends up being Kalis, we'll see if we can do about making that happen. No promises though. How about y'all? Come on, you guys have to have some moments.
Well, all right, I'm gonna tell us another story about Naked Patrick. So,
story about Naked Patrick.
Yeah. So that was
this one day at band camp. All right, sorry.
So that was the first time of many that I've dressed up to be on the show. But so I'm doing the show, and normally I tell my family I'm down doing recording, leave me alone. And my son didn't get the message. He's 19.
So
he wanders in. He wanders in and looks, and then he leaves. And then silently, and then like an hour later, he comes by and he's like talking to me. He's like, "So, what was that all about?"
Alan normally likes me. Don't tell him I was involved in that.
No, I didn't. Never mind. Dad's being weird on the internet.
Dad's being weird on the internet.
The funniest thing though is like whenever Alan leaves, like my go-to thing to him is like, "Hey, by the way, don't put your junk on the internet." That's like my
whatever you do
in life, don't put your junk on the internet.
And then of course you're sitting naked,
semi-naked on the internet. So yeah,
it wasn't your junk per se.
It wasn't my junk. No junk.
I love
no junk.
other than this junk behind me. Oh boy!
Can I just say that as the moderator in the chat, every once in a while somebody will type something in, and the YouTube's filters will catch it and be like, "Are you sure you want this to be displayed in the chat room?" And it is always Daniel, our podcast producer, that is the guy whose stuff gets filtered. I don't know what that is.
Oh, what's he talking about? He's doing the Alan bit. Alan.
It's always him.
It's a great YouTube video.
It was just topless, Patrick. It wasn't all the way naked, Patrick.
That's correct.
See? That's fine. It's still weird. it's super.
It's cold
weird
down here.
That's why it's weird. I know where you are. It's very strange.
All right, somebody else is gonna have a good story.
I don't know. Apparently, Chad in the chat likes the episode where I twist back and forth in my chair, which, as far as I can tell, is all of them.
Yeah.
So there. Heck with you. Whatever, man. Bunch of haters. Can I just say? I think I said it. I said it last week on the show, but I want to say it again.
We're always bottomless, Chad.
Chad was on Team Geek at BGG, and when I was standing in line getting my badge on Wednesday, Chad saw me and he's like, "Hey, Bill," and he lifted up his Team Geek jersey, and the Cubist shirt was on underneath, and it was one of my favorite moments, like from meeting people live at shows. I was like, that is amazing, because I'm really bad at recognizing people visually until I get to know them. Like, I will know your face, but I won't exactly know who you are. But that was my instant, "Chad, you're amazing." And then that was like one of the coolest moments. So Chad, you're rad. Chad is rad. There, Matt in the chat. Chad is rad. We're going to go with that. Yeah, it was very cool. I tried to get him to take his Team Geek jersey off and just wear the Cubist shirt for the rest of it. He wouldn't do it. I don't know why. I don't really understand.
Which number is Chad?
Chad, which number are you? Yeah, we had the Cubist cult at BGG. That was pretty awesome. When we ended up at the pho restaurant after Adrian and the great Uber debacle of 2017.
Yes.
This is karma, is what this is. You know that, right?
Well, karma for what? What did I do?
Trying to take our Australian friend to Outback Steakhouse as a joke. And then karma going, "No. As a matter of fact, not only will you not go to Outback Steakhouse, you will go to the Killing Fields north of Dallas." this is
Oh, you guys know about those?
Yeah, we found them.
We found them, though. We also found a very nice looking used car dealership that apparently somebody thought was an Outback.
Was the sushi restaurant? Yeah.
No, that was a sushi place. By that.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It was in the trunk. We just didn't hang around long enough for the guy to pop out and offer us.
Patrick was in the back seat of the van, and we're sitting there just watching Adrian slowly losing her damn mind up in the front seat, trying to figure out where the hell we're going. And all of a sudden, Patrick just yells, "Are we gonna die?" from the back seat of the van. Like, maybe, but shut up, it'll be fine.
Oh, the driver thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I don't know that.
He also enjoyed his $78.
Yeah,
He didn't charge me till the next morning.
Oh,
Just fine.
Ouch.
Yes, that was right.
Anyway, we did end up at a nice restaurant. We had a good time.
We did.
And we had a really fun drive back too.
Yes, I got to try pho for the first time. That was exciting.
Yeah.
Yay!
I had never had Vietnamese before. And
That was really good.
I live in a really, really undiverse part of an undiverse state in an undiverse portion of the country. So, like, I mean, we're pretty Wonder Bread here in southeastern Wisconsin. So it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. But trying new stuff like that. I had to go to New Hampshire to try Indian food.
Right.
I'm not kidding.
Oh my gosh!
One of the weirdest sentences I've ever said out loud in my life. But I went to New Hampshire to try Indian food because it just doesn't exist around here. It's terrible. So,
and we also we went and got good Greek food. You experienced
New Hampshire?
No, we were in Boston.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I got falafel.
Yeah. You had falafel for the first time. That's right. No, that's right. It was Mediterranean.
And I will say that's one of the best things about doing this show is not only do I get to sit and talk about something I already really like, but I get to hang out with a lot of really rad people, right? And I'm not talking about you co-host people anymore because
love you too.
You're all right too. You're all right too. But I mean, I should say I'm not just talking about you because obviously you're a part of the equation as well. But it's just really been fun having people come up to me and say, I love the show. That's great. Here's, let's look. I wore a shirt. Brandon Rojas wore his Cubist shirt on the first day of PAX Unplugged.
Yeah.
I knew Eric was gonna.
Did you send me a picture?
Yeah, we represented Bill.
He's on Instagram. I can link it to you.
Yeah.
It's on the Instagram.
It's on the grams of instant.
East Coast is the best coast.
Yeah, sure. I think coasts are scary places. Coasts are scary places where hurricanes and tidal waves and stuff happen. So I'm cool in the center of the country where I don't have to worry about any of that crap. Thank you.
Except water slides.
Except water slides. Well, that's you.
Tornadoes.
Tornadoes and earthquakes occasionally that are going to eventually swallow us all.
They will. Yes.
So,
Netters, I agree. You do need to get a Cubist shirt and a low player comp shirt. I absolutely agree. By the way, shameless plug time. You can go to thecubistpodcast.com and get merch. Good. All right. Anyway, all right. So I didn't really know
Use words, Bill.
I didn't know how to come into the show, right? Because the idea is we were going to try and do a topic about like milestones. And obviously that sort of got derailed because we've just been sort of having a good time, which we kind of knew we were going to do walking into this, right? But I wanted to pretend on a real topic because we always at least shoot for something. So we named the episode Milestones. Real quick, are there any milestones in your gaming career that really stand out as like landmark moments? Like for me, this is one, right? Like we started this YouTube show. We actually have people that want to watch every week and hang out and do, and talk to us every week. What are yours? What are like moments besides Naked Patrick in front of his computer in his basement? We've talked about Naked Patrick a lot today.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I think one of my milestones is kind of getting over the starstruckness of, they're just, everyone at these cons and stuff are just regular people, just like you and I, and you can hang out with them and you can play games with them and you can chat with them, and it doesn't matter who they are. Like Bruno Cathala at Gen Con this year, I just went up to him, said hi, took a picture and sent it to Eric to make him jealous.
Yeah,
It worked.
What?
It worked.
It worked. Okay.
No, I agree.
I mean, last year or 2 years ago, whenever I saw him last time, I was not willing to do that, but at some point I kind of got over it.
I still am a little bit starstruck sometimes. Mm-hmm. There are still people that I kind of get a little like, I was heartbroken, like legitimately heartbroken when I realized that Ryan Lockett was not going to be at BGG this year. Last year, I tried.
So dreamy.
He is dreamy, and he's kind of my hero, right?
Like, he has
I
the
wanna,
voice of an angel.
pinch his cheeks and carry him
does.
around.
He does. So for me, I was still starstruck last year when I got to meet him for the first time, right? Like, even though, he's just a regular dude and he's a super nice guy and just one of the kindest souls that you'll ever meet, I was still like, that's awesome. And I've had those moments off and on. I feel bad, I think, a little bit for people like Rich Sommer, because he goes to BGG and he wants to just kind of be a nerd, and he ends up getting recognized and sort of.
I don't think he does that much, though. He gets around fine.
Yeah, he does okay, but I'm saying I still think he gets stopped more often than maybe, I do or Patrick does or whatever. And I
don't get stopped at all, Bill.
You don't get stopped at all?
No,
well, that's because you keep your
really
shirt on.
Yeah.
In the chat, we've got Ben. You're a lovely person, but I'm not going to read that one because that'll just make me seem like the most egotistical maniac in the world. Daniel, our podcast producer, talked about getting his first game published. That would be amazing. I'm not going to lie. Eric outed me on BGG in that Love Spreader thread by pointing out that I have a game designer banner, but no actual published games.
I was just responding to your own comment.
I know, and I was like,
I didn't know you were a designer. Good for you, Bill. I learned something about you today because of the Love Spreader thing.
See,
I was a
I
designer.
suggested you spread the love.
I have hung those boots up. That's not. I've just sort of realized that's not for me. But at one point in time, I got yes, I fooled some admin into thinking that I was a real designer, and he gave me the banner, and it's just never fallen off. I don't know how that works. So, and for the record, Ben, it's not out of lack of love for you, man. It's just I don't want to. He's talking about meeting me, which is a very nice thing to say, but I don't want to. Whatever. I'm just a dude.
Sweet.
I'm just a guy. And Netters is really rad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it was Netters that had you sign
for
rulebook? I missed that part before. See?
Yeah, Netters.
Yeah.
Netters is the cutest.
She's awesome. We shared a Kringle this year because she didn't understand what Kringle was. So I brought Kringle down from Wisconsin and we had breakfast. It was lovely. And I don't think Netters understood how big a Kringle was, is really what I think happened here. I'm not 100% sure. I think she thought it was like one breakfast. I'm like, no. That's like a room can have breakfast.
She brought it to the coffee exchange.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she did.
That seems appropriate, and it's a pastry, right?
Sure is. I think it's awesome. Like that's and perfect. That's exactly.
I'm with you, Dan. I don't know exactly what a Kringle is either.
Yeah,
he said it's a toilet bowl Danish. I
toilet bowl.
Like a
Toilet.
bowl
It's a toilet bowl shaped Danish. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a toilet bowl shaped Danish, and I don't know who decided that should be a thing, but I'm glad people enjoy it.
That was the first time I'd seen a Kringle. Period.
Yeah, well,
no
it's a
idea.
Wisconsin thing.
Sure.
That is a
Pastry toilet seat. That's what. Yeah, Ben's got it there. Yeah.
Did you see what Mav's favorite episode was, Bill?
No. Where am I?
Valentine's episode where Tiffany and Steve and my Matt came on and we discussed couples gaming.
Yes.
That was a good one. Duh.
That was a good episode. That was one of the few episodes that I think we've ever had of this show where I didn't really feel like I had much to add, which is probably why I was so. See, there's a common thread here. People's favorite episodes are the ones where I have the least to say. That's good. No, that was a really great episode, though. I think that was one of probably the more informational episodes that we've had as far as our main topic, right? Like that was something where I feel like there was actual, like, this is cool stuff to take home with you to use in the future.
Mm-hmm. That was when we hadn't even been dating that long, and Matt was all pink.
Yeah, awesome.
The whole episode. Yeah.
I don't want to hear about Matt's pink part. Sorry.
Whoa!
That's Patrick's favorite real episode.
That is so wrong.
Yeah, we talked about that off. We talked about that offline.
Yes.
Cubist After Dark.
We're gonna
that was Cubist pre-show, my friend.
It has been suggested, by the way, by a couple of listeners that have slightly different schedules that we maybe start. They would like to see a second show during the week, which will be another live stream for people in other time zones. So maybe something like midday or whatever. So kind of keep your eyes peeled. Cheap plug time. Hit the little bell on the YouTube page and get notifications if you want to know when the next one of those goes on, because I'm not sure when that'll happen, but that might very well happen soon. Adrian, go.
Yes. So like 3 things. I'm bad at finding the breaks in conversation. So
I'm bad at giving breaks in conversation. So
that's all good. So my favorite episode was the Halloween one where we were dressed up, because I think that was super fun.
Your costume was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I liked being creepy. I heard from some folks about that afterwards. So, and then my favorite, I think, thing about the Cubist in general is my love letter here to burn it, because you actually do that. So many media at all, just all genre, right? Or all mediums, I suppose, do this is how you play. This is what the box looks like. Here, I'm going to comment on art. And then at the end, they're like, it's super great, as if they're being paid, even when they're not. So you don't get anything from that. I would, the scale you have actually helps people, I think, and having a variety of people on the show that we can kind of identify with the games they like makes it where I actually get something from you saying buy it, burn it, forget it, so I know what I want to do about the game. So that's one of the original things that I really liked about the show, that has kind of kept me watching and commenting and everything else.
Thank you very much. I am a very big fan of, I think that even there, I definitely understand the point of view that there's a lot of negativity in the world. We don't necessarily need to add more, but I would argue that we also do need to be able to critique things honestly and speak with our real voices on stuff. And I think that there's a fine line between those two. And I'm not sure that I've ever actually found the line personally. As Kimberly pointed out in the Love Spreader post, I am the curmudgeon guy, right? Like that's my thing, apparently. So I
said lovable.
Lovable curmudgeon, I'll take it. But I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like we do need to be able to speak honestly about bad experiences as well, and not just get smacked down instantly for having a negative opinion. There needs to be space for that as well. And I'm not sure if we've got the right balance yet or not, but that's the thing that I feel pretty strongly about. So thank you. I'm glad that people find value in that. I hope that all of you listening / viewing / chatting, whatever, agree. And if you don't, we're always open to feedback, right? Like that's half of this show. Its strength is the fact that we have people sitting and watching in the chat room and talking to us in real time while we're here, right? So we want to hear what you like, what you don't. Feedback is always good. thecubistpodcast@gmail.com.
And I did have a milestone to share too.
Please.
Actually, if I could. So because some of the pertinent people are actually here, and that's the In Focus interview with Punchboard Media. My mom shared that on Facebook this week. So you know those memes that are like, this is what I think I do, what my friends think I do, what my parents think I do. Like my mom had no freaking clue. Like I'm not even sure she's played any of my games. And so like her reading that and sharing it was fantastic. She's like, I'm so proud. I'm like, oh,
that's awesome to hear.
Can I just say that I think you should have her play Coma Word and see what happens, please?
I don't know.
I don't know about all that.
I'm just saying. I think it would be fun, or at least funny.
It'd be funny, yes.
Yeah, for sure. You guys are this is always so much fun for me. I had a kind of a crap day today, right? Like I just had sort of a bad mental health day. I was in a shit mood. I have this new cat who has apparently decided that every place is her litter box. And so I've spent the last 3 days kind of chasing her around, picking up poop. And then I get on here and all of a sudden it's all better, right? And it's just an hour of talking with friends and getting my brain into a good place. And I think that here's the one thing that I will say. If you are a listener or viewer, I hope that we do that for you, right? Even when we're dumb, even when Bill can't shut the hell up long enough to let other guests talk, even when You know, there are awkwardly long pauses where Bill can't figure out words, even when Patrick doesn't put a shirt on, you know, even when we've got all these weird moments that happen on the show. I really hope that we can give you a cool moment that can maybe put a smile on your face for a few minutes, or put a good thought in your brain for, you know what I mean? Something that maybe another way of looking at something that maybe you hadn't considered, or maybe introduce you to a game that you haven't heard about before, or remind you of a game that you'd forgotten about or whatever. If we can do any of those things for any of you out there, then mission accomplished in my opinion. You know? One of the things that I was asked in the Love Spreader thread was, what is a saying that you believe to be important and true? I don't remember exactly how it was phrased. Something like that. And I said, as a matter of fact, I'm going to read it just because I don't want to F this up, because I'm really good at screen.
Sure, you can say F.
I can say F. I can't say, I don't say the actual word.
Oh, is that
yeah,
different?
see, there's distinct difference. It was.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I know, right? It's almost like I'm consistent on this. You big jerk. Now I'm going to not be able to find it in a timely manner because that's what I do on this stupid show. But yeah, I believe it's more important to be kind all the time than right all the time. And I think that if there's anything that can be said to be my mantra, that I want it to always be that. I always want to be kind. I might joke, but that's always what I hope for. I'm definitely not going to be right all the time. I'm not smart enough for that. There's lots of other people on the internet that are good at that part. I'm not. So I just hope that y'all really enjoy what we do, and I hope you stick around, because we're always working to make it better. And hosts, folks, I hope you guys stick around too. Thanks. You're all pretty rad.
Thanks.
Patrick, leave your damn clothes on. Patrick, you have to.
Patrick, if you want to strip, you strip.
No.
Highest rated episode.
One-time thing. One time.
Oh, it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Next
I'm
time.
sure there's a Patreon goal for it.
That's it.
We need a Patreon goal. That's it.
It was the Patreon goal to keep him on.
A private, like somehow a Patreon thing where we do a Cubist After Dark episode.
See, what they don't know is every week
That's episode 69. We only
gets
got
Patrick
19 to go.
So.
Oh, we have 19 to go, Patrick.
All right, I'll tell you right now. How about this? For episode 69, because we aren't quite cliche enough on this damn show, for episode 69, we will give Daniel the week off, and there will be no audio version, so we don't violate our clean tag. Okay,
I'll get Bruce to join us,
and we will do a Cubist After Dark for episode 69. Anything goes. The only thing you can't do, I will say that all of us hosts have to read the YouTube guidelines. Okay, you have to read the stuff that will not get us channel banned. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, right?
Guideline.
Yeah, guideline. They're really more of guidelines. Yeah, that's not. No, we'll do that. But I will say this: we might start brainstorming some Patreon goals and maybe get a second show started where we're a little bit more laid back and whatever. Because we need to be more laid back than tonight. That's the thing we absolutely need. All right, we got to get to
my favorite thing. I didn't get to say anything.
Please, dear God,
terrible man. I love you. I'm sorry.
I love you too. I'm not a terrible man. I'm just dumb.
My favorite parts are always when we interact with the chat. We do that. We will answer the chat verbally and confuse the ever-living hell out of anybody else who.
Yes, I feel a little bit bad for the audio listeners, because not only is this an unedited podcast, so we probably have some of the worst sound quality / like tightness of any audio podcast anybody downloads, but we also fail to explain like half the jokes that happen.
That's just so magical, though. It's so good. It's so much funnier. I mean, you really do miss out on a lot with the chat if you're not watching live, I think. Our chat is the best. I
agree. I really do agree that the chat room is half of what makes this fun.
It is.
Like it absolutely. Yes, Daniel does no editing or sound fixing. And the audio is really confusing for him when he's listening to it, theoretically knowing what's going on. That would be, I can't even imagine, like, random people are like, I saw this T-shirt at a convention. I'll download this episode. What the hell is that? That's got to be awesome.
This podcast is a burn it.
On the podcasting panel at BGG, one of the things that we asked the crowd a bunch of questions too, and one of the things I asked them was how important is sound quality and tightness, and they're like, it's everything. I won't give a show more than 3 minutes if it sounds like crap. So for you people, if you made it this far, your standards are incredibly low, and we love you. Thank you.
And I'm giving you a thumbs up in video form.
Yes, exactly.
Me too.
Yeah, it's
You can't see it, but it's there.
Yeah, there it is. Not down there.
I screw the people on the bus. Yes, thank you, Chad. We appreciate that. Sorry, people on the bus. We don't really mean that. I love that Trevin said that he used to just listen to the audio and then he switched to the video. Well, that's good.
Aww.
That's a good sign. That's a really good sign, actually. That means that we're at least sort of entertaining enough.
Either that or he just, really wanted to know what the hell was going on.
Why does she keep saying Patrick has no shirt on? I don't get it.
Exactly.
There's a lot of cry laughing. How many episodes have started with me cry laughing? Because usually the pre-show, pre-show is usually pretty ridiculous. Let's just put that out there. That 10 minutes before we actually go live, we're complete idiots.
Yeah.
Well, and we're better when we have a special guest, but when it just ends up being a panel show like this one, yeah, it's dumb.
Oh, we're real bad. Yeah,
That's
you
real
don't even know how bad it is, friends in the chat. We clean it up significantly.
All right, we got 10 seconds. Clean it up, folks.
Yeah, Bill sounds like, get it out of your system.
Yeah,
everybody. And then at that point, we try to come up with a way to make Kimberly laugh until she's crying. And
then I hit the broadcast button. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's stuff like that makes me amazed that my friend Travis Hill even wants to be on this show sometimes.
That's what Donnie does to him every time before.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is it pretty?
It's like that with. I imagine it's like that with most podcasts. You just kind of sit around and BS for a long time, and finally it's like, okay, we actually have to do something now. Finally, you change the way you change the way you speak, you change the way you interact with people, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, yep, this is this. Okay, yes, it just happens.
I noticed personally, and I'm not going to let this tangent go on too long because this is not what the show's about. But I noticed personally that I am much more likely to listen to shows where I get the sense that people are actually speaking with their own voices and not a podcaster voice, right? Like I don't want to listen to somebody that is trying to be a podcaster. I want to listen to somebody, like I want the person and their personality to come through in the shows, and that's what I enjoy about. Yeah. That's what I enjoy about podcasts, and that's very much the guiding star behind what I listen to and what I will listen to and then forget, is you can always tell the difference. That's a very key thing to me, and trust me when I say that there's no pretense on this show because that's the whole without a net thing. We don't have time, right? Like, there's no way to be that guy on the show. So. That's a good point. Daniel in the chat says the Nerdist doesn't actually tell their guests when they start the show. They just ease it in from the BSing at the beginning into the actual interview. That's a really good point. They are
basically what you people do to me every week. Give me to talk and or giggle, and then I realize we're live.
Yeah. And that is effectively our process as well. The only difference is at one point I really do shout, "All right, everybody, get your F-bombs out of your system," and everybody joke. Everybody, I don't just say F-bomb, but yeah, we do. Yeah, we are cooler than that, Chad. Thank you, Chad. Chad says we're cooler than the Nerdist. And on that note, I think we need to take this sucker home because it's not going to get any better than that. So, all of you, thank you so much for being on this dumb show with me and with the chat room. Chat room, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Mm-hmm.
The show, it doesn't suck it doesn't suck because of you. That's what I meant to say. Whatever. Remember that whole no safety net thing? That's what I meant right there. It's you guys that make it not suck. We appreciate it. Shut up, Adrian. Damn it. Anyway, I thought you were #failing me. Sorry. I'm trying to pay attention to the chat room this week, and I'm just screwing it up. So I'm going to stop.
And all of love.
Yeah.
I was talking about me.
All the trouble. And all of
I got it. It's all good. Anyway, you guys are all awesome. Cheap plugs time. Travis, talk about your contest and your new episode real fast.
Okay, so low player count. We are sponsored by Game Surplus. and they have given us a $100 gift card for their shop that we want to give away, but we're going to make people work for it. So you can go to lowplayercount.com/contest and find all that information out. We're sending people on a digital scavenger hunt because we think that might be fun.
Nice.
Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, so that's it. That's what's going on.
One of the pictures is a topless picture of Patrick.
Oh God, no! It sure isn't.
That's a
It
bonus
is now.
question.
It sure will be.
There you go. So what we want you to do is send a screen grab of topless Patrick to lowplayercount@gmail.com, right? Is that
I
what you
happen to
said?
have that.
Lowplayercount@gmail.com. Yes. Do it.
Excellent.
That will give you a.
I'm sure there's a category that'll fit in.
Yeah, maybe.
We're just going to end up making a meme out of that. You know that, right?
It's already been on Twitter. It's all over the
It's
place.
been so many.
Travis, thank you so much for jumping in and being part of this
No,
ridiculousness.
Thank
tonight.
you. Glad to be around.
And thank you for calling me adorable at BGG.
Well, you are.
I think he was making fun of my gamer bag is what it really was, but I'll take
No.
it nonetheless.
It was adorable. Your gamer bag was super cute.
I had my board game truck bag from Kickstarter that I got. Adrienne, thank you so much for coming on the show again and being awesome and having probably the best costume that's ever going to be on the show on a Halloween episode. That was amazing. That was super rad. You guys are awesome.
You're welcome.
Yay. Eric, thank you so much for taking some of the curmudgeon heat off of me and being a second grumpy voice on the show.
I aim to
appreciate that.
please.
What? You aim to please?
I aim to please.
There you go. Let's see. I'm just going to go one by one. Patrick, thank you so much for keeping your shirt on for this entire episode.
Anytime.
Not over yet.
It's not too late, Patrick. Take it all
Quick,
out.
I'm
It
gonna
is-
up
it
my
is too
Patreon. I'm gonna upgrade my Patreon pledge if Patrick will go ahead and just take his shirt off now.
Whoa.
Patrick, take your shirt off.
No,
Hey,
don't
hold
do
on.
it.
There's money on the
I
line.
told you,
Damn it.
I'm saving it. I'm saving it for 69 man.
Crap.
There you go.
Do it.
Okay.
Anyway, Kimberly, and thank you for making me love Spreader and making me talk on BGG, even though I hate it with
You're
every
welcome.
fiber of my being. By the way, go find that love Spreader thing. There's a link in the show notes. Hit it up and ask me questions. And Brandon, thank you for being here from the very get-go, being my Arsenio Hall and helping me. Actually, wait, I'm Arsenio Hall. You're Ed McMahon, right? That's what we said.
Yeah, I'm Ed McMahon, and that's what I felt like tonight. I just basically
Yes.
sat here and had a couple beers and listened to y'all talk, and that's really what I love about the show. So.
We're your excuse to drink beer. I'll take it. That's fine.
And listen to other people talk.
That works too. That works too. Curmudgeon cast, huh? I'm just saying.
We can do that, Jim.
We might actually. That's the legit idea. Keep your eyes peeled. That might actually happen. You never know. Anyway, chat room, thank you so much for being here tonight. Sorry that we went a little bit long. I hope we didn't mess up your bedtimes too much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget the contest. New ratings for the back of the t-shirt, the cubistpodcast@gmail.com. You got to give me the rating and where it belongs on the scale. We will draw some winners and we'll give away a bunch of stuff. We'll see what we give away. Watch Twitter at Cubist Podcast. We will do the announcements all week there on what we're going to give away. We're definitely starting with 51st State.
No,
donated,
51st date we have to give away on the 51st
On the
episode for
51st
Matthew.
episode, yes.
Yeah,
which
we
would be
give that
next
away
week.
later.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The next one.
Right. That's because this is episode 50 and that's how math works.
Wait, does it?
Math.
It's fundamental.
Great. Dear sweet baby
Wow.
Jesus. All right, we're going to get out of here before this gets any worse. Thank you, chat room, for hanging out. Thank you, audio listeners, for spending precious time on the bus, downloading and listening. We hope you'll someday join us in the chat room. We appreciate it. Everybody have a great week. We will catch you all again in 7 days for episode 51. Damn it.
Huzzah.
All right. See you later, everybody.